Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Sammy of Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back with another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 80. This one we're talking about bands that we grew to like. I was thinking, bands that we used to hate, but that's a little too Angry Mike inspired. A little too mean.
Mike would be bands I hate now.
Wait. Isn't this why he's hired me here? Come on.
Yeah. Check in the mail.
Yeah, so it's maybe bands that we that we never really got into that we actually kind of like now.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few, and I'm sure some more will come to me, and I'm sure there's going to be some that I totally forgot. But there's there's quite a few. I mean, a lot of bands that I didn't like, I actually do really like now. So
before we even get into this, we were popping around and we tripped over the new Love Hate record, and it's pretty damn good, like real good. Like surprising, I always thought they were good, but like it still sounds, don't sound dated. It actually just sounds like a rock record, which maybe they kind of were anyway.
You told me about it, and I forgot to check it out. But I did really like the first 2 or 3 records. I really liked. I thought they were a little different, almost like, at that time it was like a lot of Guns N' Roses inspired bands, but then it was also like funk and type bands, and they kind of had almost like a mixture of the two a little bit, with the bass and everything, the slap bass and all that.
Yeah, I had the first record, and Mike's probably the only person that I knew that had the second record. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I got both. Yeah,
you got them too. Yeah. What was the second one called?
Shit,
Mike.
It's weird. I got them both right around the same time, like in the mid 90s. And I used to listen to them both like all the time. And then the first one I still put on, a few times throughout the year. But the second one, man, I haven't listened to that in ages. I don't even remember.
Why do I think it's something in America or something? I don't know.
Wasted in America.
Wasted in America. There you go. There you go. We figured it out.
That's it.
I didn't even look that up either. I just.
You got it. I know you got that CD.
It's probably I probably listened to it maybe like once or twice too.
Wow. First record's great. It was.
I don't remember it at all.
I love that. I love that first record.
That was an awesome album.
Yes.
It was different. It was really different for Ben.
Yeah.
Why
His voice
do you
is
think
pretty
they
cool.
call it dope? Yeah, I liked his. I really liked his voice. It was
Blackout, the Red
gritty.
Room.
Very gritty.
Yeah. Yeah, it was gritty. I mean, but different. You could hear.
There's a little bit of resemblance between you and Jizzy Pearl too. So.
There is. That one picture he's wearing the sunglasses. Yeah. Well, Dame told us that story, so yeah. Jizzy Pearl. So, have you heard him with Quiet Riot?
Just clips. You know what?
I could see it.
Actually,
I could hear it.
Yeah, that was the time.
Hear it work.
Yeah, I saw them a few years ago when he was with them, and then he was with them maybe like 5-6 years ago, and then he left, and then he rejoined them like a couple years ago. But yeah, I saw them because I was at that festival in Maryland, and that's when I said everybody thought I was Jizzy Pearl, and I said no, I'm not. They was like, "Oh, come on, man, that's what everybody says. We know you are." I was like, "Sorry, I'm not." They was like, "Come on, man." Okay, I am. All right, let's take a picture. All right, let's take a picture. Then
you got to watch. It was just a picture. He might have just wanted to punch Jizzy Pearl in the face.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I used it to my advantage because the restaurant that we were hanging out at, it's where everybody hangs out after, and they had reserved tables. And my friends were like, "Oh man, I wish we could get a table." They said there's no more available. So I said, "Wait a second, I got an idea." So I went up to the hostess. I said, "Look, I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but we just played at M3 today. I was singing Quiet Riot. I'm just looking for a table for me and my friends." And they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." So she got us a table, big table.
There you go. Jizzy. Yes. Shoo. All right, guys. So we're going to start this here. It's bands we grew to love. We're going to start with you, Dame.
The first one is that comes to mind because we just talked about them a couple weeks ago is Ghost, because for years I really tried to get into them and I just really couldn't do it. Like I didn't hate them, I didn't dislike them or anything. I really wanted to like them, but I just couldn't get into them until maybe about 3-4 years ago. I saw them live. Actually, the second time I saw them live, and it all just kind of clicked, you know. And you know, at that point they had like, you know, what's the songs like Rats and Square Hammer and all that stuff. Like they kind of changed their sound a little bit.
Poppier,
and, yeah, I mean, the latest record, you know, I love it. I listened to it yesterday. You know, just those songs, man, just keep on listening to them over and over. They're so catchy. It's probably like one of my favorite bands. I think it's album of the year personally, nice. But you know, and I think they're a band that's only going to get better.
Yeah, they're definitely getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
definitely. Mike D, what you got?
You know, this one's a band that for the longest time I tried to get into them, and they were more like 120-minute band, you know, that on MTV, 120 minutes. But the Pixies, man, like later on, I didn't get into them until like way after Nirvana broke. And and I'll even admit it was, you know, from Fight Club, that song at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I went back, I pretty much picked up a good bit of their catalog, and they're just an awesome band.
Yeah, they were kind of Nirvana was kind of influenced by them, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they pretty much stole everything from them.
Really? Yeah, I've never
a
heard
lot.
them.
Yeah,
I mean, I just know of them, and you know.
Oh yeah, you listen to the Pixies, and you're like, oh, that sounds like Nirvana.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. I only remember.
I forget. There's another band. There's like two bands Nirvana really took a lot of stuff. Pixies was one of them.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know much about the Pixies. I think I have like a greatest hits record from them, and it was the song at the end of Fight Club, and which was
Where's My Mind?
Where's My Mind? And
Where's My Mind? Yeah.
And the other song was on Rock Band, and because we all used to play around with the Rock Band, I knew the song from playing it, and yeah, that was a real good song. Crustaceans or something like that. Was that one of the songs? Or was a lyric or something in there?
You know what? I'm so bad with song titles these days. I know the lyrics more than song titles.
Yeah. But
it might have been Gouged Away or something like that.
But I kind of dig them. I kind of think they're okay. Not something I would put on all the time. Yeah, they're okay. I think they're okay.
They're weird. They're a little weird band.
Yeah, they're out there, and they got two singers, right? Girl and a guy.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly Frank Black that sings.
Right, he does solo stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a mess of solo albums out.
Yeah,
he's an actor too.
Oh,
right?
Really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure he's been in a few movies, unless I'm thinking of someone else.
Let us know if Frank Black's an actor.
Who knows? Everybody does everything
Black.
these days.
Yeah. Jamie's checking it out.
Yeah, let me look this up. I'm pretty sure he's. Yeah, I'm right on it.
Armed guard number 2.
Right.
Yeah, he was definitely in movies, TV shows.
Oh, wow.
Where is it? Television appearances and videos. That doesn't really say what he's been in, but it does say on his Wikipedia. I'm just skimming through it.
Yeah, I gotta check out and see what he was in. Maybe it's something that we didn't even notice. I wouldn't even know if I see him. You know, I know his name, but I don't know him. Okay, guys, from my list, Leonard Skinner, man. I love them. I got into them probably in my 20s, and I really like them. And it's, being a Kiss fan, bringing up Kiss, there's a lot of Kiss sounding riffs that are in, I think, some Leonard Skinner stuff, vice versa. I don't know what came first, but yeah, like, man, they're so damn good. Like, I love them. And even the second incarnation, there's a lot of good stuff too, or whatever after he passed away or Autumn passed away. But man, so if that's not a band, I don't know if you guys liked them. I don't know if it's a band that people didn't listen to really get into, because when we were kids, it was the joke, freedom rock, dude, turn it up. We're like,
freedom rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're it's they're sort of like on my bucket list to kind of, I know the hits, and a few others, and I know their history. I saw, the movies and documentaries and stuff, but I never really got, delved into their like catalog, you know.
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. You got the first one's Leonard Skinner. You have Second Helping, which is great. I think it's got Needle and Spoon on it. Street Survivors was the last one. There's a live one called One More for the Road, which is really good. Give Me Back My Bullets. There's just so many good records, man. And they weren't really around that long of a time, with the first incarnation of them. And man, I just really, really grew to love it. I really did. Damo, what you got in your list for a second?
I'm gonna go with Fleetwood Mac.
There you go.
There's a few more on my list that are similar, but just a band that was always around. You hear the songs on radio, don't really pay too much attention, and then it's like Donna's favorite band, and she kind of, she didn't like try to turn me on to them. It's just like being around, hearing the stuff all the time, and then all these songs and you listen to them every day. And then we saw them live a few times, and they're great. I mean, I actually really enjoy them.
You seen them with everybody, Stevie Nicks and I can't think of the guitar player's name. What am I drawing a blank here?
Lindsey Buckingham.
Buckingham.
I didn't see him with him, but we did go see his solo band.
Oh, nice.
Maybe like back in September or October, I think.
I'm sure he played some Fleetwood Mac songs. I'm sure, right?
A couple, mostly solo songs.
Oh wow.
He's got a lot of solo hits. That's what I was going to say. It's like everybody in that band, they all had like great solo careers too.
Yeah.
It's not like they did their solo thing and they had one or two hits. I mean, all of them had their own. Each individual member can go out and tour.
Yeah.
Like Kiss.
Yeah, like Kiss, Mike.
Our weekly.
Our weekly. We bring up Kiss weekly.
Did you? Yeah, had to go there so soon.
Yeah, so soon. Yeah. I'm waiting for Kiss to be on your list, Mike. Your Kiss is on my list.
No, they're. I mean, like, I don't hate them. It's just I don't like them like everybody else. I'm like, I'm in between.
Right.
The stuff I like. The stuff I don't like, it's just.
You can take it or leave it. You're like,
yeah.
You grew to tolerate them, not like them.
Well, I mean, I liked them when I was younger. It's not. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I think I liked them less as I got older.
Yeah. Funny.
All right.
So, what do you have on your list, Mike?
I'm going to go with and this is a band that a lot of people argued about not being a heavy metal band, but they did have some heavy metal albums out, or at least stuff that pre-heavy metal that inspired heavy metal bands. But Jethro Tull, yeah, man, like when I was younger, they were like a total old man band. But you listen to their stuff, man, they got some really wicked stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. It's on my list. I got them on my list.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, years ago, I was listening to, I don't know, I didn't know it existed. I just bought it. It was some acoustic record from Jethro Tull. And I put it in my, like my computer. So it was on an MP3 rotation. I just let it play. And meanwhile, I'm in the other room. I'm thinking, oh, it must be some Metallica Unplugged thing. I come in, it's Jethro Tull Unplugged. I'm like, wow, it sounds like Metallica. I'm like, it's crazy. So yeah, they just got a bad thing, when they went against Metallica, and we were all like Metallica heads. So we were like, "Oh man, that's crazy. That ain't heavy metal."
They definitely didn't. Yeah, they didn't create any heavy metal fans with that.
This old man with a flute.
Yeah, motherfucker play a flute.
Yeah, put his leg on his knee with that weird. I don't know.
But weird. If you go back, I don't know if you listen to them at all, but if you go back and you listen to some, not everything, but if you listen,
I got
to Aqualung, Thick as a Brick.
Thick as a Brick. Yeah, I think I have
there's some really, really good stuff, man. You have to weed through some of the goofiness. Some goofiness in there. But
some of their like 80s stuff got a little.
Oh yeah, the 80s stuff got kind of like, I don't know, like everything did. Everything got candy coated.
Watered down.
Yeah.
But they survived, man. They had a couple good albums even past the 80s though.
Mm-hmm. They got a album called Something Roots. And that was a real good record.
Oh, yeah, that was good. And that was one of their later
Roots, too. Bloody Roots.
Yeah, I don't know, Bloody Roots. Something Roots. Bloody Roots. That album's really, really good. Yeah. Okay, next on my list, this is a band that a lot of people love, and I got into them late. And they're one of the 4 or 5 staple bands that I think everybody kind of trips over. that likes music, you know. Pink Floyd, like I really dig Pink Floyd now. When I was younger, it was sleepy to me. I got to be in the mood to put it on. It's got to be more of a background thing, and I prefer to listen to the albums instead of just songs. But you know, I would say, you know, the Gilmore years, not before that with the Syd Barrett stuff. It just didn't work.
Too weird.
For me.
Yeah,
Too weird. But Pink Floyd, man, wow, what a great collection of stuff. Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, Wish You Were Here, Animals. That Pulse live record that came out in '95, it's amazing. Like if you had to get one Pink Floyd thing, if you weren't a fan, get that record. It's unbelievable. Oh, it's live and it's great, man. It's so
good. I had them on my list. I'm still not like a huge fan, but I definitely like them. I mean, before I would never even give them the time of
Me
day.
too.
Now,
me too.
You know, now if I hear a song on the radio, I definitely listen to it. And, David Gilmour's just a phenomenal guitar player. Man, that guy's good.
Plays with feeling. It's so much feeling in that stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, if you want an example of, you know, like if a kid ever says, well, you know, what does that even mean? Play with feeling.
Yeah.
Listen to him, man. That is, geez. His guitar solos, that's all feel.
Yeah. Mike, you a Pink Floyd fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Always or later?
I liked them back, like, you know, probably like in the 80s and stuff like that. I had some of their stuff. They weren't like my go-to. It was, you know, more people we hung with, and I was like, oh yeah, listen to Pink Floyd or stuff like that. And this one's a good album to get. You get it. It's like, you throw it in once in a while. But it wasn't until I was like maybe in my like late 20s or 30s that I really kind of, you know, felt it.
Yep. Same here. Damo, what you got on your list?
I got a band that I actually like, absolutely despised and hated, and everything about them. And even now, I kind of like don't even like to mention it. But
we're not. I thought we weren't going there. All the hate.
Well,
he used to hate.
It is. I used to, not anymore. And even back then, there was a few songs I liked, but it's Nirvana, and I do like a lot of their stuff. I like them a billion times better than Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
like they're way better band. You know, I just like the kind of like the punk, even like metal kind of feel. You know, it's got a lot of energy. You know, the songs are, you know, you got real heavy guitar sounds and like the deep tracks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Not so much, you know, the few songs you hear on the radio. I don't even need to hear them ever.
Right.
But you know, some of the deeper tracks are, you know,
like Something in the Way. Oh my God.
Great track.
Never mind. Yeah. Oh my God, what a great song. That record.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there.
Yeah, that I seen you know how they do the classic albums? You ever see VH1 classic albums?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they broke down that record. Man, what was it? Made with Butch Vig, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Was the producer or the engineer. And wow, man. Oh my God. Even some of the harmony stuff is so good. Like I'll
have to check that one out.
So good. Yeah, for me, Nirvana, I thought they were cool when they came out. I thought they were a little overrated when they came out, and they were getting pushed like too much, I thought. But when that MTV Unplugged record came out, I was sold. I was like, this is the best record.
Yeah,
this
it was different.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely showed a different side
to
them that you didn't really expect was even there, you know?
Yeah, it was so good. I wasn't big on like the, you know, what's that song called? Territorial Pissing. I wasn't big on like that kind of song, but like all the other stuff I really liked. But that MTV Unplugged, man, just sold it for me. That made me go, yeah, these guys are great. Mike D, what about Nirvana for you? Are you a fan of Nirvana?
Yeah, I kind of teeter with them. It's weird because it's like when I listen to them, I hear a lot of stuff that came before them, like to the point where it seems like it's almost ripped off. But like In Utero, to me, is their best album.
It's a good record.
Yeah,
good record.
Like Nevermind, I can barely even listen to that anymore. And it's like I even debate, like I want to pick it up on vinyl. Like, you know what? I'll just never listen to it. I've heard it so many times.
Right.
Yeah. It is a good
record. There was I remember when they came out, there was like some show on MTV. Was it like, I'm trying to think what the name of the show was, like Hanging with MTV or something. But they always had a band on that would play live, and they would maybe do like 3 or 4 songs and have like a mini concert. And I remember, they played, and the songs that weren't singles were just like, even back then, I was thinking, man, these fucking songs are great. They're like really heavy. You got a lot of aggression. I don't even remember what songs they were, but might have been like Drain You or something like that, but I thought like In Bloom, I thought that was a great video.
Great song.
And a song,
Great bass line.
And yeah, it's just real catchy, simple, really simple songs,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mike D, what you got on your list?
I am going to go and say King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And
Listen, we should get, hold on for a second. They should be sending us some sponsorship because we mentioned them an awful lot. They get mentioned almost as much as Kiss. Gene ain't sending us nothing. So King Gizzard,
you ain't getting nothing from Gene.
What's Kenny Wizard Abrams, whatever his name is.
Kenny Kenny Wayne Izzard.
Kenny Wayne Izzard. What's that guy's name?
Ambrose Kenny Page.
Yeah. Kenny Ambrose needs to send us something. We've been plugging the King Gizzard for a long time now. And they have a new record coming out, by the way. You do.
I don't even know how to say this.
Ambrose Kenny Smith, right?
There you go. Ambrose Kenny Smith. Okay, Mike, I'm sorry for interrupting you again.
But I didn't get in that band until maybe their 10th album. So I'm going to consider that getting into them late.
But he put out a lot of records a year.
They did. They got about like 22, 23 albums out now.
I love it. Every time you say that name, Damien lights up like a Christmas tree.
That's funny.
Oh, man. Oh, anything you want to add to the King Gizzard there, Mike?
Huh? No, I'm just throwing it out there again.
What's your favorite record? If you had to pick one King Gizzard record, what are you going?
I don't know, man. It's weird because I'll tend to like, I'm in the mood for this one or I'm in the mood for that one. It all depends on what mood I'm in.
Gotcha.
So it's a tough one. Yeah, they got about, I think I got about 11 or 12 of them on vinyl.
Yeah, well, from me, and I liked the band a little bit before, but same thing, old head kind of music when you first hear it. And when the movie came out, I was a huge fan. I really got into the Doors. Man, I love their stuff. I just love the vibe, the melody lines. Some of the lyrics are crazy. Yeah, I became a real big Doors fan once that movie came out. I totally dug it.
What, of a ranting alcoholic?
Yeah, it was great. Am I the only Doors fan on here?
Yeah, no, I love them, but I got into them at when I was a kid, and I don't really count that. It's
right. Well, your parents probably listened to them, right? Probably.
Yeah, and they're always there. I'm really into the Doors. I love them.
Great, and some people don't really like them. Like, there's a lot of musicians I know that don't like them.
Oh,
wow.
I know that too. I don't like the keyboard sound. There's no electric.
It's so unique.
Guitar. It's I get it. I like a lot of her songs. I like Waiting for the Sun, Not to Touch the Earth. You ever hear that song? That's fucking
great
heavy.
Song.
That song.
Great song.
That would be a great cover, man. That's got like a real heavy sound. LA Woman, great album. You could definitely tell towards the end of their career they're sort of going into more of a rock direction instead of like a psychedelia kind of.
Yeah. That was the progression, of all them bands. Yeah. All them bands started out kind of psychedelic and went more forward rock. Now, Mike, I know you like a lot of the keyboard stuff, but you're not a really big Doors guy, huh?
No, I don't know. I just can't get into them. It's just like, and I had a lot of friends that were into them, and I just never could. It's like I like them less and less as I get older.
Wow, that's crazy. Damo, what you got on your list?
Let me see.
I even tried to like the Doors, man. I even bought one of their live DVDs. It's just I can't do it. I can't get into it.
Let's see what we got. How about I'm going to say Billy Joel.
There you go.
Yeah, but never really into him. Didn't dislike him. I kind of thought the music was sort of like, music that doctors would like, or like rich people.
The hootie tootie
music for doctors.
Yeah, or soccer moms, and kind of like yuppie suburban music. It's like, nah, it's corny. But I saw the documentary Hired Guns, and basically his entire original band is whoever's left, who's ever still alive, is in it. And it really just kind of like sort of like got me into him. I mean, I sold Billy Joel maybe a year or two after I saw that documentary. I bought tickets on StubHub for like $13 when he played Citizens Bank Park. I bought them like half hour before the show started. So I waited like, tickets kept on dropping. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to go. I went by myself, and it was a great show, man. It's like hit after hit. Like I said, the entire time, it played like 2 hours. You just know every song. You don't really realize how, what a great writer and everything. And just like the band was just like incredible, so I really became like a fan then. Yeah.
I mean, I dig Billy Joel. I think I like the late 70s stuff,
Absolutely. That stuff was really good.
Once it went to Uptown Girl and all that stuff, not that it was bad. It's just, his earlier stuff is really singer-songwriter kind of, storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Captain
like
Jack and all
Captain
that.
Jack is a great song. And even like that Piano
great
Man
story,
It's like funny. The Piano Man thing's funny now, but what a great song. If you really look at the song, it's a great song.
It really, it really creates like a visual. You actually, like with the lyrics, you can actually see everything happening, in your mind almost. Like the story, he's telling like a story,
Yeah. It's like perfect dinner music. Like if you're at a dinner and that's in the background, it's like perfect dinner music. I like it though. It's chill music,
Scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Mike D, what you got? Uh-oh.
About Billy Joel, or are you giving me my picks?
Whatever you want to do. You're on the fly.
Well, are we talking about Billy Joel still, or are we?
Sure, you can talk about Billy Joel if you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, his early stuff was great, but like when he started going like the Uptown Girl, and we did start the Fireman. I can't even listen to that anymore.
Well, he stopped recording records like in the 90s. He has.
What was the one in the middle of night?
That was like the last thing he did.
He said,
I think that was the last record he's done.
Yeah, it just got watered down after that.
Yeah.
So, Mike D, what's your next pick, though?
I'm trying to think now because you took a lot of my picks here. Between the two of you.
I got more. I got plenty of them.
Well, I'm going to take Albert's. I'm going to take one of Albert's.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with some funkadelic Parliament.
That was my next one. That's all right.
But yeah, like I think I had like maybe like a greatest hits. I couldn't remember anything from them, and I was like, I saw like their stuff on like Discogs, and I was like, let me check some of their stuff out. Here I go picking up an album here. Bert got me one, the Maggot Brain. And I think you picked up a bunch of them recently too, Bert.
Only 5 or 6. Bang.
Oh my God, man. It's just so good. It's like you got your funk and then you got them. It's just like they're just like a cut above the rest.
Yeah. Yep. The perfect blend of Frank Zappa and funk.
Yeah. There's a couple ones that are a little like redundant, but for the most part, man, like everything I listen to is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. I love them. And I knew of them, and I liked a couple songs, but I never really got into them, into the last probably couple months. And wow, man. Yeah. If Damo, I know you really didn't give it too much of a shot, but listen to some of that stuff, man. It's so catchy. It's so catchy. And I love that they have some silliness mixed in with it too. It's very entertaining. Definitely very entertaining. And I couldn't tell you who sings on what does what part. It's just damn good. And the players are just, oh my God. It's so the musicianship's so amazing. Yeah, I love them. I really, really do. All right, since Mike took my pick, I want to move on to my next one on the list. Judas Priest, which I love Judas Priest right now, but I didn't like them in the early 80s and all that stuff. I was like, I don't know why, but I didn't get really into Judas Priest to probably, I don't know if you want to say Defenders of the Faith, kind of maybe Turbo. And then I really got into them during Painkiller. Like Painkiller was like, oh, this band's great. I like their old stuff now, but initially I had no interest. Like when they were doing like Hellbent for Leather in the beginning, I had no interest in them, but now I love them. Now I like that stuff now too. But it took me a while to really, maybe it was the singer with the short hair. It looked weird to me. I don't know. Who knows? It could have been that, you know.
He opened the door for bald dudes.
Yeah, it's cool to be him and that Montel Williams. It's cool to be bald now. How about you, Dane? Was you always a Priest fan?
Yeah. I've liked them. I'd say like if you were a fan, in your teenage years, fine, yeah. So I was, the bands I didn't get into like until my adult years,
right?
So
yeah,
I've always liked them. I liked them when I was a kid.
It took me a while to really like that band. It did. It really did. Damo, what you got on your list?
I'm gonna say somebody I got into recently a couple years ago was Waylon Jennings, and pretty much just like country music in general. Like yes, it was kind of like, kind of corny and stuff, but it's like
there's some good stuff out there.
Now there is. Going to Nashville the last time, really paying attention to the music that was being played, really opened up my mind to it. And when I came home, I just kind of opened up. I just went down like some old school country music rabbit holes, like for months.
Nice.
That's all I was listening to, just like the old stuff. I'm not really into the new like pretty boy country pop crap. Yeah. I'm not really into it, but the old stuff where those guys look like legit cowboys,
Yeah.
That's the stuff I liked. And again, it's like they're really good songs, stories. They're telling stories, and they tell them really well. There's cowboy storytellers,
Yeah.
And Waylon Jennings is probably my favorite out of the bunch.
I never really listened to his stuff, but I'm interested now, so I'll probably take a listen this week and check it out.
He had a band. It was him. It was sort of like an all-star band. It was like Waylon Jennings,
Chris
Christopherson, Willie Nelson, the Highwaymen. They're called.
That's it. Yeah, they were good. I remember them. They were good.
Yeah, and that's like it's like getting
Johnny
Mick
Cash.
Jagger, Johnny Cash. Yeah, imagine like Mick Jagger, John Lennon, I don't know, Roger Daltrey, and Jim Morrison in a band or something. It'd be like that. It's like
yeah, that's crazy. Mike D, what you got on your list?
Well, since you mentioned him, I'm going to go with a little Frank Zappa.
There you go.
And like when I was younger, I don't know. I looked at this guy. What the hell's up with this dude with that big ass mustache? And it's like, I don't know.
You were going to say nose.
Come on, you can't help that.
He did have a fine mustache.
He did.
Mustache.
But it's like the more his stuff I listen to, it's like the more I get kind of drawn in now.
Yeah, dude. When I was younger, I remember seeing a video. I don't know what it was called, but I remember the guy had like a lettuce on his head. I was like, I couldn't watch it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Now I love him. And who got me?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I think I got you into him.
No, Tony Mecca got me into him.
Really?
Tony Mecca. We were recording a record with Tony, and we would talk Zappa. And then I went home. I started listening to it. I'm like, I get it. But it really took me, and that was after like System of a Down came out. So that's how late I got into Zappa. System of a Down opened the door for me to listen to Zappa because
the weirdness,
the tongue in cheek with the lyrics, and I was like, okay, I get it now. So between that and Tony telling me you gotta listen to Zappa, and once I started listening, I'm like, okay, I get it now. Boy, this guy's brilliant. But it took me a long time. Like I just thought it was like, what the hell's this stuff, you know?
Mhm.
But it took me a while. Next on my list, Motorhead, another band, just like Judas Priest. In the beginning, I really had no interest, and then by the mid '80s, I friggin' loved them. So they're one of my favorites right now. I listen to Motorhead all the time now.
Yeah,
But
I would put them on my list. I mean, I got into them maybe within the past 10 years.
yeah,
I really got into them, you know, and they're definitely one of my favorites.
yeah.
But yeah, it took me a while. No particular reason, you know, just sometimes look, dude, like there's a lot of music out there,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
go back.
and sometimes you just, you just get into, you know, the same few bands you listen to over and over, and then something comes over, you just want to, you know, explore a little more. So
Yeah, well, I think that's what it is. Like, I like the stuff I like, but how much of the same thing can you listen to? You gotta explore.
Yeah.
And the last couple of years, I've really been opening my mind to listen to a lot of different stuff. You know, like, yeah, some shit on my playlist now, I'm like, would never be on my playlist 20 years ago, you know?
mhm.
But it's cool. I mean, maybe from playing music and stuff and writing and stuff like that, maybe that, you know, it opens the doors. Like I said, I could hear a rap song
Yeah.
and hear something going, I could do something with that idea, and then turn it into my own thing. And like even that, like I respect that more than I did before. You know, like people are like, oh, it takes no talent to do that. Guess what? There's talent in everything you do.
Yeah.
Anybody that picks up an instrument, they could play anything. I'm amazed by. And there's so many people that do play, because, you know, I'm not the greatest player. I come up with an idea, you know, but it amazes me how many people do play instruments, because it's not easy. It's really freaking hard. And the guys that sing and play, it's amazing. So that's why any musicians, even if they're not my cup of tea, I respect everybody that gets up there and does it, because it's a lot harder than anybody thinks. Then you got to do it in front of people. It's even harder, you know?
Yeah.
Damo, what you got on your list?
I got Grand Funk Railroad.
There you go.
Remember buying like the greatest hits tape when I was like maybe 16, 17. I bought it for that one song, I'm Your Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only song I would listen to. And then, you know, really up until maybe like 4 years ago, I just really started listening to their whole catalog, you know, starting with like the first record. And dude, they're really heavy, man. I mean, like they're like, you know, in line with Sabbath, probably, you know, far as like, you know, you could definitely tell like they were one of the first hard rock metal bands, you know. And you know, for a trio, man, they're just really good. And live, you know, their live records are really good. And you know, they had a great run, maybe like 8-9 years of just like, you know, just banging out quality records. And then they broke up, and that was pretty much it. I mean, they're back now, but it's only 2 of the 3 original guys. But
I know Bruce Cole's playing with them now, right?
Yeah, he's with them. So the drummer Don Brewer, who's, you know, he also sings. We're an American band. He sings that, and the original bass player is still in the band.
Oh wow!
And they got a singer, another guitar player, Bruce Kulick, and they have a keyboard player. But the original singer, Mark Farner, he's just kind of like doing his own solo thing now. But
I mean, they hadn't been around since the early 70s, maybe mid 70s,
60, 68, 69.
Oh, wow. They were around that long.
Yeah. 69 was their first record.
Wow. Yeah. I know a few songs, and the songs I know I like. I would like to listen to them more. You know what band? There's 2 bands I would really like to give a shot that some people really, really like. And I might know a song or two, but never really sat down and listened to their records. Was MC5. I know a lot of people big on MC5.
Yeah, that's easy because they only have like 1 or 2 records.
Here you go. We can go through that quick. And UFO. A lot of people like UFO.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, I guess the live record, everybody says that's the record. Listen to the live record.
Yeah.
You know,
mm-hmm.
But yeah. So there are two that I would really like to check out.
Yeah. UFO. I kind of, you know, I know a few of their songs, but I'm never really got into them. I'd throw them on my to-do list.
Yeah, to-do list. Yeah. Yeah, they're all mine. Both of them bands are all mine. Mike D, what you got?
I'm going to go with Lean, and I didn't get into them until later on.
That's on my list too.
Yeah,
Mike.
because I think they kind of started touching surface while I was like still in high school. I didn't get into them until like years later. Like they were like, they came on MTV. They were like a turn on for me. Just change the channel. But once that Chocolate and Cheese album came out, man, like, and I got into them way after that. But they just had a different sound, man. They changed, and they're weird as ever still, but it's some great stuff if you delve into it.
Yeah, that's a band that was also on my list, and I got into them really late, like within the last 2 years. I heard of them before only because of one of our buddies that we both worked with at one time, Mark Dempsey, used to bring him in and play him, but I never really paid attention to him. But Mark was the first person I knew that really listened to them, and
that's how I got into them.
Yeah, and then Mike was like, "You got to listen to this," and my first reaction is, it's kind of silly, but after you start listening to more and more, and you see through the humor, and it's really catchy stuff. The musicianship's really, really good. The Mollusk is an amazing record, and
that's definitely my favorite by them.
Those
two right there.
They're the two. Like, that's a band that, man, I got into a real short period of time ago, and I love them now. Like, I totally, the songs that are fun, and the songs that are great are great. So at Ween, yeah, man, it's definitely was on my list. Dame, have you ever listened to Ween?
I've never heard anything from them.
Put that on the to-do list. Them two records.
They're our hometown boys too, man.
Yeah.
I know they're local.
Yep. And they're pretty damn big too. They got a pretty big following. Which are only two guys.
They do.
Dean, Ween.
Yeah. They have a whole band. It's a Dean and Gene.
It's just basically them though.
They're like, they were high school friends, and they just stuck together ever since.
Yep. So on my list, James Brown, love it now. Couldn't listen to it when I was younger. Now, shit, I'm a dancing fool. I love it.
Dancing fool.
I love it. Popcorn, all that shit. James Brown. Yeah. I love it. How about you, Damo? No James Brown for you, Damo?
Nah, I like
you don't know.
Yeah.
James Brown.
Godfather of Soul.
You ain't kidding, man. Shit. Mike T, are you a James Brown fan?
I can't say I'm not. I'm not a huge. I mean, to me, it's just like kind of there.
He don't get your feet going or nothing like that.
Don't get you moving.
He don't get you moving.
Well, I mean, when it's on, it's good. But I'll never go and say, "Hey, let me throw some James Brown."
Shit, I do. I love it.
Dancing shoes on.
Yeah, if you want, you gotta put your dancing shoes on. That's the problem. Damo, what you got?
Okay, I think this is like the last one I have, and that's the Eagles.
Okay, I never really got into that. Yeah,
I didn't get into them until I saw the documentary on Showtime a few years ago. And man, what fucked up band they were, all the turmoil and shit. Yeah,
I never seen it. I never seen the documentary.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a 4-hour documentary. It's 2 parts. But yeah, they have a lot of kind of like slow soft rock songs, but they do have some harder stuff. More like when Joe Walsh came into the band, he kind of brought that, kind of made them a little more rock, but
I mean, Hotel California is a great song. Life in the Fast Lane, or Living Her Life, Life in the Fast Lane, right?
Life, yeah.
That's a great song. I mean, they have a handful of songs that I really like, but I never really got into them. And that's another unplugged record that they said really, really good. I think they did an MTV Unplugged. I'm almost positive it's out there.
Yeah, it's when the reunion started. Yeah.
Oh, was it When Hell Freezes Over tour, something like that. It was.
Yeah.
But you said the documentary was good.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. And they spawned a lot of other guys coming out. There was Glenn Fry had a solo career.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the drummer's name? Don Henley. Don Henley had a solo career, and they had big songs too. Both of them had big songs.
Yeah, huge.
In the 80s, they were huge in the 80s. I mean, now it's like yacht rock. But you know what? I don't mind the yacht rock once in a while.
Oh, I love it.
If I'm in that, domain, I'm okay with it.
Oh yeah, we listened to it all summer down the shore.
Chilling out, drinking some champagne. It's good.
Love it, man.
Mike D, what do you got on your list?
And not do the Eagles.
No.
Cannot do them. No way. I'm with Lebowski on this one.
Lebowski.
I had a really tough day, and I hate the Eagles.
But you love the football team, right?
I love the football team, not the band.
You got anything on your list for band you
I'm
love?
spent on. I'm done.
I got a bunch, but I'll close mine out since Dame's done too. I'll mention a couple, but I won't get in depth except for one thing. So I got into Sheryl Crow late. I think she's really, really good. Johnny Cash, I didn't get into until I guess he went with Rick Rubin. Then I really got into Johnny Cash because the older stuff I didn't really care
I was
for.
listening to Johnny Cash at 5 years old.
I like the later Johnny Cash stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like Delia and all that
cool.
stuff.
It's just
cool.
basically him and an acoustic guitar, you know.
Great. It's great. Cradle of Filth is another band that's kind of like a little too Cookie Monster for me usually, but I like them. They're the one exception of that genre that I like. I think it's the girl singer that sings once in a while. They have a girl's voice and it's so melodic. And
Really?
My cousin Nikki actually got me into them. They were so good, man. Yeah, I kind of like them. And I don't usually like that genre, but I like that. Alice Cooper. I liked Alice Cooper in the 80s, but I didn't get into his 70s stuff like maybe the last 15 years. And I love the 70s stuff now. But that took me a long time to get to that. Like I love the 80s stuff he did. And I didn't backtrack till years after and start listening to the really good stuff from the 70s, you know?
Yeah.
And now that stuff's
that.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
And the last thing I have on my list, which I think we might all agree on this, is as a whole, when I was a kid, I couldn't stand it. And now, man, it's pretty damn good. Disco music. I actually don't mind disco.
You know what? I kind of liked it when I was a kid, and I love it now.
I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid fun music. You know?
Yeah. Like, you know, that Saturday Night Fever album's fucking great.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. All that stuff, even like the Born to Be Alive song and all the Donna Summer stuff is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff, man, I would never listen to before. And now it comes on, you know. I was telling my buddy Keith that we used to work with too, another guy. And we used to have, I'd be like, all right, it's Friday disco day. And we used to put nothing but disco on a Friday. You know, thank God it's Friday. You ever seen that movie? Thank God it's Friday.
No.
Oh, put it on the list, Dame. Thank God it's Friday. It's great.
It's funny because I was listening to I watched the Rick James documentary on Showtime.
Nice.
But before that, I pulled out a couple of my Rick James records like a week and a half ago on vinyl, and I was listening to him. I was like, man, you know, I gotta get some more kind of like late 70s, early 80s dance, funk, disco records. Yeah, man. So I've been meaning to go to the record store and pick some up. Like actually one of my favorites I was listening to a couple of days ago is Sheik.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Sheik.
Well, you love Nile Rodgers, right?
I love Nile Rodgers. Yeah,
I used to think they were chick.
Yeah.
Chick.
Yeah, but he's one of my favorite musicians, man. That guy is just so good. Great producer, great songwriter, and you know, the bass player and the drummer Tony Thompson is like one of my favorite drummers of all time.
Yeah.
And the bass player Bernard Edwards.
Well, Tony Thompson played with John
Bowie.
Who did he play with? John Taylor, Power Station. He played
Power
with the Power
Station. Yeah, he played with Bowie. Let's Dance. A lot of that record because Nile Rodgers produced it.
Yeah, and
he was just he wasn't like a funk disco drummer. That dude was a hard rock drummer, man. He had, you know, killer like hard rock feel, and he was on the that Led Zeppelin reunion that for Live Aid. He was the drummer, but you know, I think somebody made a push to get Phil Collins in. So I'm doing two drummers, and Phil Collins totally fucked it up. You know, because he did the transatlantic thing. Remember, he did Live Aid in England.
Yeah.
So then he flew to, you know, to America to play with them, and you know, they didn't need. They should never got him. I don't think
It's a waste of a ticket.
Yeah, he kind of fucked up the whole reunion, and you know, but they got Tony Thompson because he was like almost like the second coming of Bonham. You know?
Wow.
And he was a disco drummer. You know,
is he still alive or he might have?
Nah, he died. He was the first one to die. He died in mid '90s, I think.
Wow.
Remember that guy Jean Beauvoir? Jean Beauvoir.
Oh, did a lot of stuff with Kiss. Yes.
Yeah, well, he had a
player.
band, and he had a band called Crown of Thorns, I think. It came out like 92, 93. And Paul Stanley wrote a couple songs on the record, and Tony Thompson played drums on it. I think it was like the last thing he played on. I have a copy of it. It's actually really good.
Oh, nice.
Really good record.
Yeah, I always heard that guy's name.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I didn't know who it was
yeah.
till like recently, you know, and then he's got like the mohawk kind of. Yeah. That, I mean, he must be a good writer. You see his name pop up here and there. So so he must be a decent writer. Mike D, how about the disco for you? Are you a disco fool?
Well, I grew up with Saturday Night Fever when I was a kid, so and I'm talking like a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old. I appreciate it more now that I get older. You know, it's dance music that actually, I think they were playing their own instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
So it has more of an organic feel to it than a lot of the stuff that's out now.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. And even the stuff even like in the 80s, the pop dance stuff had more of like started going into that computerized kind of feel. But like the disco was like kind of organic. Yeah. It definitely was like the right way to describe
like once everything went into that loop stuff, it's like
yeah.
Yep.
I just like heavy keyboard.
Yeah, even the everybody started using them electronic
digital.
Simmons drums and
Right, yeah,
stuff like that, which I don't mind if they're mixed in with the
I
real
like
drums,
it. I like it, but
if it's mixed in, I'm cool with it, you know.
Depends on what it is.
But so we got mixtapes and tasty cakes. We'll see you next week.